Damien Loder Allen, aged just 33, was found deceased in her Hillsborough house in Auckland on the 24th of September 2009. He was found by emergency services after a call from others at the address. Damien died of a head injury, but despite pleas from police and his family, the police are being stonewalled, no one is talking, and no one has been held to account for his death. This story will make you sad, frustrated, and at times angry, but it is a story that needs to be told. This is Damien's story. The cases I cover are not made to offend or hurt anyone. I am simply looking at cold cases and reading through the media articles that were published at the time. My goal is that these stories will be seen as far as we can share them, and hopefully the right person with info about the case will see it and decide it is time to do the right thing by the families and come forward with the information needed. Thank you for coming along with me. I really appreciate it. Let's get into the story. We're going to quickly find out about Auckland, New Zealand. For those international listeners, Auckland is a large metropolitan city in the North Island of New Zealand, the most populous urban area in the country. Auckland has an urban population of about 1,470,000 as of June 2020. Auckland is a diverse, multicultural and cosmopolitan city, home to the largest Polynesian population in the world. The Maori language name for Auckland is Tamaki Makaurau, meaning Tamaki, desired by many, in reference to the desirability of its natural resources and geography. The word Tamaki itself generally meaning an omen. And thanks to Google Maps, we can see here where Auckland is located. It is in the North Island and near the top. Let's go. Our first place we're going to is infonews.co.nz. This is Thursday, 1st of October 2009. Auckland police are investigating the suspicious death of a 33-year-old Damien Loder Allen, who was found deceased in a Hillsborough house on 24th September 2009 by emergency services after a call from others at the address. A post-mortem has been conducted. Mr. Allen died as a result of a head injury. It is up to the coroner to report on the cause of death. Police are awaiting the results of toxicology tests. The investigation team has been interviewing occupants of the address and other associates in an effort to establish what took place. The scene is still undergoing a forensic examination. Detective Inspector Scott Beard says a team of 16 staff have been working on the investigation, trying to piece together the movements and activities of people in the house over the 24-hour period leading up to the discovery of Mr. Allen's body. And this, just quickly mention, I got this pic from stuff.co.nz. Look, my little notebook computer has only got 4 gig. It's not going to run any software that I want it to, and it's on its way out. So I'm doing really basic stuff trying to keep this going. Let's keep looking. We're at the odt.co.nz, the Otago Daily Times, 4th of February, 15th March 2010, I should say. Relatives and associates of a man who was brutally killed in an Auckland house nearly 6 months ago are still withholding evidence about what happened, say police. Damien Loder Allen, 33, was found dead with head injuries, and police at the time accused the other occupants of the house of refusing to cooperate in the investigation. Nothing has changed, said Detective Inspector Scott Beard today. Police believe the house has been cleaned and his body had been moved before police arrived. They said that vital information which could solve the mystery of what happened was being withheld. 4 people were in the house when police arrived, and others had visited the house on the night. Police were alerted to the slaying by a 111 call from the house. Since then, police said there'd been a total lack of cooperation from those in the house or others who knew Mr. Allen. So we can start seeing the sordid story of why this remains unsolved and the poor family have not got the answers. Let's keep going. Okay, stuff.co.nz, Murder Mystery, Mum's Anguish. This story, guys, is going to make you really angry. It made me very upset. The anguished mother of a young man brutally slain in a suburban home 6 months ago is begging his friends to tell the truth about who killed her son. Police say associates of Damien Loder Allen, found dead with head injuries at the house, are stonewalling their inquiry. They believe the death scene was cleaned and the body moved before 111 calls were made and from the property, which is linked to two notorious drug-dealing brothers. The mum, Shirley, says, "My son was killed, murdered at a place he called home, surrounded by people who he thought were his friends." Shirley Allen told Sunday News from her home in Queensland. "We have been robbed of Damien. I need to know what happened to him, and I need to know who was responsible. The person who did this must be carrying a huge weight on their shoulders. Just come forward, tell the police what happened that night so we as a family can get some sleep and Damien can rest in peace." Shirley said she was further traumatised when those she believes know who killed Damien above turned up at his funeral. This is very upsetting even to read. She continues, "However, those people will still not speak to detectives. Police investigating Damien's death would not comment to Sunday News, but Operation Ebb head Detective Inspector Scott Beard has said previously, 'We're obstructed in our current investigations by people who we believe are withholding vital information that would assist us and Damien's family to uncover the truth around what happened in the hours before he died.' Damien's sister Kylie said the family weren't even able to know the time her brother lost his life. Our death certificate says he died either on or between the 23rd and 24th of September. She said, "That doesn't sound like much, but it is a big thing. When did he die? We are not going to get any of that information until someone comes forward and we can get some truth. We need answers. We need justice." Shirley and Kylie dashed across the Tasman from Australia after being told of Damien's death. One of his housemates originally told them Damien had complained of a headache and gone back to bed, only to be found dead later. But the day they arrived in New Zealand, they were shocked when police confirmed they had opened a homicide inquiry. There was more heartache at Damien's funeral 3 days later. Damien's so-called friends just made a mockery of it and his family, Kylie said. They brought their booze inside. In the middle of the service, a guy got up, interrupted the service, saying, "Come and say your respects." We had a hat on Damien's coffin, but this guy got up, took his own hat off and put Damien's hat on, slammed a can of bourbon on his coffin, and all hell broke loose. Our whole family was up and the funeral directors had come in as everyone was up and yelling. What a truly horrible, horrible experience for this family. Absolutely terrible. What sort of people do this? No respect. Throughout the service they were yelling out things like, "Damien wouldn't have liked this song, it was horrific." Shirley said Damien's funeral was a blur to us, but people got up at his funeral and spoke of how they loved him, cried for him, and how they were missing him. He was their bro. And they said, "Not a day will go by that we won't miss you." She says, if those people meant what they said, then do the right thing by Damien. Come forward and tell the police what happened that night. Shirley said police were working tirelessly on what has become a murder mystery. No one is saying anything. No one is going to say anything. It is the whole protect one another kind of thing, she said. Shirley said her son wasn't an angel, but hadn't deserved his brutal end. The family moved from New Zealand to Australia in 1981. As a youngster, Damien was a keen sportsman who enjoyed BMX racing and riding motocross bikes. but he was deported back to New Zealand in 2003 after a string of non-violent criminal convictions. And she's right, it doesn't matter if he wasn't an angel. Everybody deserves to be buried, or to have a funeral, a respectful one for starters, and the family need to know what happened, and he didn't deserve to die like that at all. He was deported because he was a repeat offender and because he held a New Zealand passport. Damien constantly told his mum that he wanted to live back in Australia, she said. Kylie said her brother was a clown who wasn't afraid to laugh at his own misfortune. It is hard to deal with the fact he is gone. I am never going to speak to him again, she said. Damien's ashes returned across the Tasman with Shirley after his funeral. She says, I have brought him home now, but this isn't the way I wanted to bring him home. I have Damien here with me, where he always wanted to be. Home, she said. The house in which Damien was found dead was co-owned by Albert Rhodes, who in February 2009 became the first person to be jailed for life for manufacturing methamphetamine. His brother Richard Rhodes was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison for his part in the drug ring, which included Albert and 4 others. So, information here about where you can ring if you need to. Everything, all my links to the sources, the numbers you can call, are all going to be in the description box below. So you can come look at stuff yourself if you want to do more research. I'll also have my email address if you want to contact me, and how you can donate to the new computer fund before this one dies. Alright, let's go on. Crimestoppers. You've heard it before, it's anonymous, and you can do it online as well. You know, you may be the one that makes a difference, who would offer these families some answers and maybe a sense of closure or peace. I thought we'd have a really quick look at Crimestoppers online. This is crimestoppers-nz.org. It says, are you worried about what might happen if you talk to the police about what you know? Maybe you've seen or heard something about a crime but don't know what to do. Are you scared to come forward and be a witness? Would you say something if no one knew it was you? If you feel like this, it's easy to think there is nothing you can do. That's where Crimestoppers can help. Our independent charity provides a unique service to help you speak up. Tell us what you know, not who you are. We don't record any personal details about you. We simply pass on the information and protect your identity. Your information makes a difference. It can help solve existing investigations or bring light to unknown criminal activity. So, of course, in the description box below, there'll be links to this as well, so you can go and have a look and realise that if you go through Crimestoppers, it actually is anonymous. It really, really is. Right, let's carry on. nzherald.co.nz. This is a photo of Coroner Gordon Matenga. Says this is 2016. Farcical investigation sheds little light on son's killing. So if the story wasn't sad enough, it gets sadder. The father of a man found dead in an Auckland house owned by a notorious drug dealer says the investigation into his son's death has been a farce. No one has been charged in relation to his death, and the case remains open. In the coroner's inquest into his death in Auckland District Court this morning, Coroner Gordon Matenga concluded Mr. Allen had died of unnatural causes. Mr. Allen's parents were at the inquest. Mr. Allen's mother, Shirley, wept while details of the case were presented, while his father, Mark, called the investigation into his son's death a farce. We've really got some upset family, some sad family. Very, very upsetting. Why has it taken so long to get to this stage, he asks. I have no confidence in any of you. Coroner Matenga acknowledged the outcome of the inquest had been most unsatisfactory for Mr. Allen's family. The long time it has taken to get to this inquest is regrettable. However, he said police inquiries had been extensive. There is no stone which has been left unturned. Mr. Matenga also declared Mr. Allen's official date of death would be recorded as September the 24th, 2009. So little was known about Mr. Allen's death that an accurate time of death wasn't previously recorded. His death certificate said he died on or between September 23 or 24. It sounds like a little detail, but for the families, I think it would be really important one to know what happened, part of what happened. Fewer than 10 people were at the house on the night Mr. Allen died, and police said at the time there were obvious gaps in honest information and what those people were telling police. So we heard before, some articles said there was 4 people, but then police said that associates were also at the house that night, so don't know. And that's my cat, he's going to have to wait. The house was owned by drug dealer Albert John Rhodes, and his brother Richard also live at the house, but we don't really want to talk about those people. Alright. The last article we're going to read is another very emotional one for me. Dying father's plea to find son's killer. And this was 2016. And that's a beautiful photo. The terminally ill father of slain Aucklander, Damien Loder Allen, has called for those who know who killed his son to come clean. As the 7-year anniversary of his son's killing nears, Mark Allen has told the Herald on Sunday he does not want to go to the grave without justice being served. I am desperately seeking to bring some sort of action regarding the death of my son. After 7 years, no one has been arrested. I'm more than angry. And, you know, we can understand exactly why. Coroner Matenga acknowledged the outcome had been most unsatisfactory for the dead 33-year-old's family, and the long time it has taken to get to this inquest is regrettable. Mark Allen, the dad, revealed he was terminally ill 6 years ago, suffering from chronic aggressive hepatitis C as a result of a blood transfusion. He says his health has since deteriorated to the point where he believes he will be dead by the end of the year, and time is running out on his quest for the truth. Very, very sad. I think that I'll put the link below if you want to read the rest of this about his father. He goes on to say how sick he is, unfortunately. Allen says he does not want his health to be seen as leverage in this ongoing fight for justice. He simply wants to live to see the day justice is done. I just can't understand why this happened. Either there was a botch up in the investigation from day one, or they thought it was a wannabe gangster killed in a house with other wannabe gangsters and let it go. So he's very, very upset, and you can understand. Please encourage anyone with information that can assist in progressing the investigation to come forward. This is a very hard story, very upsetting, and I want people to know that you can get things off your chest, you can help the family, you can give the family some answers, you can give them some peace maybe, some closure maybe, and you can do it all anonymous. I'm going to have all the links in the description box below so you can go there and see them for yourself. Thank you very much for being here in this story of Damien Loder Allen, and please share it where you can so we can get as much people seeing this as possible. I'll see you next time.